game of the series, currently tied at 1 game each. The Astros are pulling ahead of the Twins 9-1 in the top of the 9th. The Texas Rangers currently have 2-0 against the Baltimore Orioles in their series. They will play later tonight for Game 3. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 1 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here's the snap back to Reggie Love. He gets hit at the goal line, and a ball might have popped out. I don't think he made it in there. Nebraska's black shirts have put together a goal line stand and will take over at the 1-yard line.
Husker volleyball sent to the left. Krause again. Unreal. Another thump from Lindsey Krause.
Here's the snap back. Zone read. Take the handoff. Hoiberg's got it. 20, 15, 10, 5, dives, touchdown, Nebraska.
Controlled by the Huskers. Again, Lindsey left pin for the match. She got it. 25-14, Huskers set the way. Sweep number 9 this year for Nebraska. And your Huskers are 15-0 and a perfect 6-0 in the Big Ten.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are on what has been a gorgeous day in Lincoln, Nebraska. You talk about Chamber of Commerce type weather. It was 70, mid-70s, light breeze today. Whoa, we were definitely the San Diego of the Big Ten today. I mean, this is San Diego weather. It's gorgeous out there.
Yeah, I thought Sunday too, though, a little bit. It was just a tad bit warmer. That was more San Diego-ish. This is more L.A., I feel like.
Okay. Well,
Isn't L.A. a little chillier than San Diego?
One of those Southern California teams,
no,
or towns.
This is going to be for those West Coast teams, Nebraska's going to be the luxury destination because
absolutely.
the rest is going to be a little bit chillier than what they're used to.
I was out at Haymarket Park for a couple hours today, watched a little red-white scrimmage, and man, it was just so pleasant sitting out there. Well, David delivered the bad news from Coach Rhule's press conference today. Doggone it. Marcus Washington's season is over. That young man has had a rough 6 months.
Gosh, another just monumental piece, critical piece, and we all have been a huge fan of his. Jeremiah, you, Damon, me, we've been a huge fan of his from the start, and a lot of what he does doesn't always show up in the stat sheet because I can't tell you how many times the offense comes off both last year and this year, and after they've made a big play and he hadn't caught the ball, but how much praise he gets for the blocking that he does, for some of the things he does. It doesn't always show up in the stat sheet. He's a leader. I was so impressed with how much he was coaching up those young freshmen over there on the sideline this weekend, and he could have been sad and upset and pouting and he could have stayed in the locker room. And he was out there coaching his guys up. He was, going and celebrating the defense. He was celebrating when Tommy Hill got that turnover. I mean, he's such a team guy. That one hurts a lot. I mean, it hurts to lose any of those key pieces, but someone like that, boy, that just really hurts. We kind of worried a little bit just because, and Searles and I talked a little bit about this today, but coming from people that tore your ACLs, typically if you can move around, it's not a good sign, and he was moving around pretty good, and that's where I kind of had a bad feeling after that. But that's a guy that he'll come back for it. I don't think he has any eligibility left, right?
Well, Coach got asked that today, and he's like, I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look. Everybody's still confused with the COVID year, but I think that's got to – and this year counts because he was past the 4 games.
Yeah.
So this year
counts.
It
was like – it was the first drive. That's –
right. He had just
– which I guess that was game 6, but still.
He had just made the big catch.
Yeah.
And then, the next play, I think, is when he got hurt.
But, you just hate it. You hate it for him because of how good of a teammate he is and how much of a leader he is, but then you hate it for this offense because he's such a big piece, and then you hate it for this team just because of what he's meant to it.
Coach talked about it during the press conference today. I don't think I pulled this cut, but you and I have talked about it a lot. The numbers of people, and Coach Rhule said, I've never had this many injuries on a football team that I've coached. And he said, injuries are one thing, season-ending injuries are another, and the number of season-ending injuries It's unbelievable what's happened.
And it seems it's all on the offensive side of the ball, knock on wood.
Pretty much, except for Boodle on the defense. He might be the only guy on defense.
I mean, Deshaun, I think, is coming back.
I think he'll be back. I agree.
And Luke Reimer will be back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Cam Linhart.
Who was the young man in the car crash?
Oh,
Brody.
Brody
Tagola.
Yeah.
Yeah, before the season even began.
Right.
Before camp even began.
So, yeah, it hurts. And it's already an offense that had some thin places. The defense, you felt pretty good about the depth. But the offense, there were some thin spots that you didn't really need to lose. And but, hey, they've got some young freshman wide receivers that you got to step up now. Now's your time, And we saw some of the other. I mean, Alex Bullock made some big plays. There's some other guys that maybe have been waiting for the opportunity, but especially those young freshmen. How we've heard how talented they are, and we've seen some flashes. Hey, now's your chance. Here's your chance.
And they're going to have to play.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's good to have Jaden Doss back on the field for the first time at Illinois. Malachi, I think Malachi has appeared in 5 games already, so his red shirt's gone. Jalen Lloyd is probably right at that 4 mark. Well, now you got to play him. And those kids, and I'm sure Coach Rhule will be the same way. If I had my druthers, I would love to be able to redshirt a couple of those players. But now, out of the need, you don't have that luxury. You have to play them.
Yeah, you have to. You got to have them. And it's just the bodies that you have lost, and then not to mention the speed. I think that's one thing that maybe we've been lacking a little bit of after watching Trey Palmer do what he did last year. And those freshmen have that speed. And so when you talk about someone that having a player out there that can take the top off of defense, there's a couple of those freshmen that absolutely have that capability. Jaden Doss, Jalen Lloyd are 2 of those guys. So, hopefully they can grow up in a hurry. But a lot of times it's just getting an opportunity and seeing what they can do and what do you do under the lights. But now they've been going through practices. Now they'll be working out with the 1s and 2s as opposed to being on the scout team or the 3s. So, you get that opportunity to go against the 1s and 2s defense. That continues to make you better, especially this defense, right? When you're going up against this defense in practice. So hopefully, and those defensive backs, so hopefully they continue to grow, and we'll see them bust out onto the scene here in these last 6 weeks.
I think even a guy like Ty Hahn may get more snaps.
Yeah.
Right? Walk on that made the catch last week when he was out there, and I think they're comfortable putting Ty out there. He's been really good on special teams, but I think now he's been in the program for a couple years. He's been around the team and played in some games on special. I think he's going to have to get snaps.
And I think it's pretty telling, too, that who are some of the guys that Heinrich feels comfortable and trusts throwing the ball to is Ty Hahn and Alex Bullock. And you go back to, they probably did a lot of reps together on the scout team. This reminds me, so Baker Mayfield was a walk-on. He walked on at Oklahoma, and he couldn't practice with the team for a while. And then they were still debating on whether he could, with the whole deal, it was before he could transfer within the conference. And so Texas Tech was trying to fight it. And so they thought that he was going to lose. He had to sit out that year. Anyway, so he spent a lot of time with another walk-on by the name of Nick Basquin that ended up being one of the team's leading receivers that year. And it was because of all that time they spent together. And so I think maybe you're seeing that a little bit between Heinrich Haarberg and some of these other receivers that, hey, while you're building this trust and confidence in some of these new players, who's a guy that you trust in certain situations no matter what? It's a guy that you've thrown the ball to quite a bit no matter what the situation is, and I think those 2 guys are 2 of those players.
Mike in the chat room says, need Fleeks back at wide receiver. I don't think so. I think we're so thin at running back. I think he's got to stay there.
Yeah.
I think they just have to keep pushing those scholarship wide receivers to play more downs. Malachi was on the field. I think it was over 50 snaps in the Illinois game. So he certainly is adjusted to that. Getting Doss now healthy after his arm injury that he had in August. Now he's kind of learning all those type of things. So I think it's just a matter. It's going to be the kids for the back half of the season. We still have a lot of football left. 6 games left to go in this season.
And a lot to play for still.
And a lot to play. I mean, even, don't hate on me, people, but even the Big Ten West title is still there. It's still, Nebraska still could go get the West title. I'm not out here saying they're going to do that, but that's still there ahead of this team if they can take care of business.
Yeah, and don't tell them that they are not capable of doing it, and it's going to be one game at a time. But there is really, really a lot for this team that's on the line. And this is a great opportunity. And I keep going back to it, but as long as the defense is playing the way they're playing, you don't have to light up the scoreboard with an offense. Just take care of the football and do what you're supposed to do. Do your jobs, and punting's okay, and don't turn it over. And you're going to be in just about every football game as long as you do that with the way that this defense has proven that they can play consistently.
All right, here's what we have coming up on the program tonight. We'll have some clips from Matt Rhule's only media appearance for the week. They had a press conference today. We'll cover what he talked about in that. Hour number 2, it was men's basketball media day for hoops up in Minneapolis earlier today. We'll play you some of Fred Hoiberg's comments from the big podium earlier today. Spoiler alert, he likes his team. So we'll have that for you. And we'll hear about fall softball. Rhonda Revelle will drop by. Huskers have one more weekend of games that'll take place out at Bolden Stadium before they turn in the balls and bats and cleats for a couple of months and before their season begins in early February. And as always, we want you to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. As we sit here on a Wednesday night, there's actually 3 college football games on the docket tonight. One's already kicked off. Louisiana Tech, who the Huskers played a month ago, they're playing their 8th game of the year.
Talk about a grind to open up the season.
We just finished 6. They're playing 8 tonight. Middle Tennessee, there's no score. They're about halfway through the first quarter. Jacksonville State plays tonight. There's 3 games, kind of Sun Belt type teams, conference teams playing college football tonight. Why not? There's not a whole lot of other sports going on, although our good friend Tim would be mad if I didn't mention that tonight they dropped the puck on a new season of the NHL. So there you go.
You have that DVR'd all the games.
I know.
You have the NHL.
I don't really
ticket.
like the NBA.
What is it called at the NHL?
It is something ticket, I think. Frozen ticket or something. I will watch the playoffs. Like the NBA, I don't really follow it during the regular season, but I will watch the playoffs.
I'm not a hockey person. I'll watch like the Olympics. I like watching women's hockey in the Olympics. But I'm not one that tunes in every night I don't have a hockey team, so I'm sorry, I can't replace Tim on the hockey expert on the show.
We just don't have, the closest franchises to us are Minneapolis and Denver. So, yeah, we're kind of stuck in an area where there is not professional hockey. I know the Stars are here in town, and that's great. Love people that love to get into that.
I did go to an Omaha game last year. That was fun.
The Mavericks.
Yeah. And you know what? I would think that a women's hockey team would do decent here.
I think it might. I really do.
I mean, if you're talking about if down the line, if you add a sport, women's hockey might be something that you should.
We got the next athletic director show here in a week or so. I think we got to bring that up.
I think it would be fun. I mean, and Wisconsin has women's hockey, and they set a record last year with women's hockey attendance, and I think they have pretty good turnout for theirs. And,
they do.
It's pretty good hockey too. If you watch the college Frozen Four for the women, I don't know if it's even called that. I should be better at that.
I think it is.
But
no, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, 402-413-2400. That's the number to be a part of the program. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with some comments from the head football coach. That's coming up next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian Automotive Vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
There's room at the table. Saving you money on every gallon at a CVA fuel site. Central Valley Ag offers a 5-cent per gallon discount at the pump to CVA fuel card holders. Now, for a limited time, get a 5-cent discount and be entered to win 2 VIP tickets to a Husker football game when you get a new or additional CVA fuel card. Sign up to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Visit a participating AGCO dealer between September 11th and November 3rd and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 24th in Lincoln, plus pregame tailgate. See True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter. And you may win this season.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during Ram Power Days and save on the entire lineup of Ram trucks, like the new Ram 2500 and 2023 Ram 3500. Plus, right now, eligible business owners can save up to $8,500 off MSRP. Woodhouse Ram is bringing you more power, capability, and savings. Plus, 2 convenient locations in Blair and Bellevue. With approved credit, tax title license extra, $299 doc fee, do it signing. Offer expires 10/31/2023. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. UNL is the only Big Ten university in Nebraska, part of the only conference with an academic alliance. Being in the Big Ten means superior academics, unique student opportunities, better resources, and world-class research programs. With 72% of undergraduate students receiving scholarships or financial aid, UNL offers a Big Ten education at great value.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Something big is happening. Introducing Hy-Vee Perks. Now, Hy-Vee Fuel Saver is Hy-Vee Perks. Get the same great benefits like fuel savings. Plus, save even more on hundreds of products store-wide with Hy-Vee Perks prices like Tide. H Perks price, $9.97. And bananas. H Perks price, 39 cents a pound. Make the switch or sign up for Hy-Vee Perks and start saving today. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Is your garbage disposal not disposing? You had one job. Drains backing up can cause a horrible smell in a home, damaged pipes, and so much more. Some signs that your garbage disposal may be going out include frequent clogs, abnormal and louder noises than normal, or water is leaking from the bottom, just to name a few. John Henry's is here to take care of all the pipes and drains in your home. Call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Well, folks, go out and visit a participating AGCO dealer between now and November the 3rd. Get yourself entered for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 24th in Lincoln. Plus, pregame tailgate passes will be made available to the winner. Go see True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment. And you may be a winner this season. That game will be here before you know it. Huskers right at the midway point of the season. And with the bye week this week, the coaches are not going to be made available much. Today, the head coach was. So we have at least for once, one show this week, a practice report.
The 1890 Initiative presents the Nebraska Football Practice Report.
We're talking about practice.
Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com.
Well, the head coach met with the media for about 20 minutes today. They did have a practice today. They did not practice Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. They did some weightlifting on Monday, but they were back out on the practice field today. By the way, I meant to mention this last night. Did you see what Terrence Knighton did with his guys on Sunday?
No.
They went to a spa, and they all got pedicures.
Oh, nice.
So here are these big guys. Here's Nash and Ty, these big guys getting pedicures.
Hey, always got to do the upkeep on the feet.
I love it.
Yeah. It's really relaxing, you know?
I've never had one.
You should get one, Greg.
I've done massages, but I've not done a pedicure.
Dang, I just missed your birthday. I should have got you a pedicure. No, I highly recommend it. A lot. I see.
Cole's over here laughing.
I see men in the spa getting pedicures quite often.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I get massages every now and then, but I've not had a pedicure.
You know, one thing's cool. I didn't do a report on this, but I meant to mention it. But Terrence Knighton's wearing bright pink Adidas tennis shoes for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
He had them on the other night.
Yep.
I saw him walking across the field.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he said it's for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So
good for him.
Yep.
That's great. All right. The head coach today was asked, what's the plan during the bye week for practices and recruiting?
We did a bye week, kind of plan to win with the guys, like all the things we need to improve upon, The one thing we're doing well is, we're first in the Big Ten in rushing offense. We're first in 10-plus yards rushing. I think we're third in yards per carry at 5.1. We're second in rush defense, maybe first or second in defensive yards per carry, and first in 10-plus runs. So we're defending the run well. Third down, we need to get about 7% better on offense and 7% better on defense. I think we're middle of the pack on, I can't remember the numbers, but we're 40% on defense, okay? We need to be in the low 30s. And we're 37% on offense. We need to be in the mid-40s. So there's a lot of things that are just close. The one thing that's giving us a chance is running the football. We're minus, through 6 games, we're minus 7 in the turnover battle. We're 129th out of 133 teams. And that's, that could have been a 30-7 game, 35-7, 40-7 game. So, there's a lot of things, but our identity of running the football, and taking away and stopping the run, that can't change. That's just a bedrock of who we want to be. It didn't work we couldn't get it done against Michigan. They're beyond that. We were beyond that on that day. But as we move forward, we have to continue to do that. These young receivers, I think we started making some plays in the passing game this past game that allowed us to score some touchdowns by tying some third down conversions. We just have to continue to augment that as we move forward.
Yeah, turnovers are an issue, and they got forced a couple last week, but it's really been an issue on both sides of the ball, not forcing them and giving it away in those first couple of games that really have set them behind the 8 ball. But that's definitely, to me, a glaring improvement that needs to the defense needs to continue to build, and sometimes those takeaways come in bunches, so hopefully that kind of lights a fire, and we see more of those, and then hopefully the offense continues to take care of the football.
There's a lot of numbers in that soundbite, but there were some really good numbers about what we're averaging running the football, what we're giving up, yards per carry defensively. Those kind of things will play, and I think he kind of did some of this today just to kind of say, yeah, we may not be maybe as far away as you think. And, yeah, we know we're deficient right now on the offensive side because we just don't have all the bodies that we need. But there's some really good things going on with this football team.
I mean, the big dog, Cyril, says it all the time. He said it last week in his keys to the game. I mean, if the way that this defense is playing football, if you can run the football on offense, it's a pretty good recipe to win a lot of games. So that's continued to grow, and that's what they're going to hang their hat on, and they're taking pride in that now. I think it was one thing for an offense to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, but then once you start seeing it working, and then you see the complementary football and everything, how it all comes together, and because there were times, last year with how the offense scores. I mean, and look what USC does. Look what some of those offenses, the high octane offenses. A lot of times the defense is not very good.
Right.
Because it doesn't give them much time to rest, and it's just not a great recipe. It puts you in some tough situation. So I think it's what Coach Rhule has done and the staff has done, and now the team is seeing it and buying into it. And now it's like, okay, yeah, they take pride, and we're going to be able to run the football each week, and that's going to give us a pretty dang good chance to win a football game.
He did also say in the press conference that one full-time assistant is out the entire week recruiting. He's going to go to see some games Thursday night and Friday night, and then he said our entire staff's going to be out and about Thursday and Friday. So they're going to use this week to go out and visit and go watch high school football games of young men. Some maybe you've already committed to the Cornhuskers, but some they would certainly like to get in the coming months.
Are they kind of staying around here or everywhere?
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He's not going to get too far from home base. All right, the turnovers. He alluded to it in that clip. Here's more about the turnovers and how do they correct that part of it.
That's a great question. I hadn't really thought about that. What I did tell the team was, at some point, it's going to have to stop. It's been 8 years of it here. Going back to the 9-4 year was the last year we had a plus turnover margin. So it's all these different voices saying it. And it's not, and we're talking about just the offense right now, but like the defense is only taking the ball away 6 times. They're like 11th in the Big Ten. So it's not like we're like doing, everyone kind of looks at the offense like, come on, guys, well, we're supposed to be taking the ball away on defense. That game was trending in that direction, right? Like Quentin had the pick. Take away Heinrich's pick. I mean, to me, Heinrich's pick was like, hey, it was like, we're going to take a shot down the sideline. If it's intercepted, it's a punt. Like, I mean, we don't want it to be intercepted. The fumbles in the red zone are ridiculous, right, inside a 4 minute. So, I challenged the team like, hey, we literally the day before walked through 4-minute offense. We spoke it into existence that we're going to have the lead. And quarterback, what are you going to do? I follow the ball. Offensive line, what do you do? We finish. Defense, running back, what do you do? I run to contact and get down. Like, it's coached. And it happened the day before. And then, as we said to the team, hey, guys, who brought that up in the huddle when it was happening? And everyone said no. Like, even Heinrich said, I didn't even think about we were in 4-minute offense, which it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds. But it's so, those are teaching opportunities to me. Is it a little easier when you win? Probably. But it's still, the same problems are still there that were there at Minnesota. The same issues are still there. So we've got to continue to clean them up. My point, though, is there are the same issues on special teams. They're the same issues on offense and on defense. Everybody has their issues. So as a team this week, we have to clean up some things so we can be better against Northwestern.
That's funny. At some point, it's got to stop. But that's what I was just talking about. It's easy to point it all on the offense, but those first few games, the defense wasn't taking it away either. So,
yep.
And we talked a little bit about this last night about how Emmett Johnson, that fumble was a little bit of maybe a miscommunication, him not being in that situation. That was when Anthony Grant was hurt. And Searles really dove into that today on the podcast, that probably Emmett has not been taking many of those snaps like that in practice because it's usually Anthony Grant's formation. So, I think Emmett will learn from it. I think he'll be better for it. And apparently he had some challenges for Anthony Grant, though, today. That definitely does have to improve.
Yeah, I didn't pull those clips. He just said it's the way Anthony kind of holds the football. He doesn't cover the tip. That's one of the big things on holding a football is cover that tip, because that's usually what gets poked and slips out of your hand. And he goes, it's just a ball security thing with him. He goes, he's doing a lot of other things. He's picking up blitzes way better. He's catching the ball out of the backfield better. But he goes, until he shows to us and the team that he's not going to fumble it, he goes, we got to be careful when we play him.
And, kind of the scary thing about that is that teams are seeing that on film.
They're going for it.
And so you're seeing them. I thought you saw Illinois really trying to say that. And you heard that from the defensive staff. I hear that on the sidelines a lot about talking about players, how they carry the football, maybe an opportunity to punch it out. So it's on film or then they see it in the game. Those defensive players are being told that. So then they know that that's an opportunity to be able to go do that. So, it's got to get corrected if that's going to be something that people are going to hone in on and try to target and do.
I'm going to have to tell Coach the next time I see him, he loves Amir Abdullah. Amir Abdullah had fumbling issues in Nebraska, too. He ends up being a longtime NFL back, and so I'll mention that to Coach at some point in time. All right, we're halfway through, midway point. 6 in, 6 to go. We're sitting at 3-3. Need 3 more to get to a bowl game. Here's the coach and how he's kind of looking at the back half of the season and what can and what is possible for this team.
I think we should, for the second half of the season, we should we should try to win every game, knowing that we'll have a chance. We'll probably have a chance in every game. And also, there's not a team that can't beat us. There's not a team we can't beat. There's not a team that can't beat us. And so we probably just should prepare at a high level. I hope the one thing they learned from last week was that what seemed like really hard, like, man, we're in full pads on the Sunday, the day after we played Michigan, probably will end up being one of their better memories from the year, and probably led to one of their best weeks of football. And I think gave them the right to have that swagger that Sam asked about, right? Like, as I told them, if you practice that way, then you earn the right to play that way. So I think they understand that they have to prepare, they have to have edge, they have to play in a certain way, and they have to play as a team. You got Blaze Gunnerson started a bunch of games. He gets a little bit banged up. Someone goes ahead. Jamari goes ahead of him. Blaze doesn't start. Does he complain? No, he goes out. He plays really good on defense. He blocks a punt. There's a lot of guys on the team, I thought, stepped up in multiple areas, not just on offense and defense.
He's got some liners today. I mean, yeah. Well, I hope we go about winning every game. Yeah, we do too, Coach. But no, I mean, he's right. They should have a chance in every game if they play how they're supposed to. And how many times have we heard too that, and Searles mentioned this last week on the podcast, and I used to always say this about Bob Stoops. I could always tell how the team was going to play by how he was in his Friday night interview, because that was a pretty good tell of how the team prepared throughout the week. A lot of times how you're going to come out and perform by what you did throughout the week. And I just got a sense talking to players last week that it was a really good week of preparation, that they were ready to go. And I think especially for that defense, they came out and had that big goal line stand from the start and then just pedal to the metal the rest of the way.
Some other things that he touched on, he did spend quite a bit of time on Anthony Grant. I don't know that we need to keep hearing that stuff. We know Anthony's put it on the deck. But he talked a lot about the quarterback room, how he still likes all three of those guys. He mentioned Chubba again. He goes, I told you all back in August, we can win with any of the three. And he goes, if Chubba had been full strength when Jeff went down in the Colorado game, he goes, it might have been Chubba that went in there, and we might be in our fourth straight game of Chubba starting. So he was clearly wanting to keep pumping Chubba up. Also said that he's told Coach Knighton, you mentioned Terrence the last segment, that he wants him to keep getting Riley Van Poppel more snaps. He goes, he's really, really good. Don't forget about Riley. Keep putting him in.
I told you a story about Riley Van Poppel. I don't think I've told it on the air about there was something that happened in the Colorado game, and it was when the defensive line was playing lights out in that first half before it got out of hand. And something happened, and they were maybe thinking it was something that Nash needed to pick up, and Riley came over. He's like, no, that was my bad. I know what I did. This is what I did. So I think he's just a super intelligent football player too, and understands things, especially for a freshman, and said, hey, I missed that. That was on me. That's my bad. And I was like so blown away again by a freshman that he knew that immediately coming off the field that was his bad, and that, he owned up to it in that huddle. And, he's a guy, you could tell that room, they all really like each other and respect each other. But you could tell Riley Van Poppel too is a guy that they really like and respect and trust. And yeah, he's done some good things. And you can just tell by the way that the team interacts with him and Coach Knighton, how they interact, that they have liked what they've seen from Riley Van Poppel.
So Van Poppel, Cam Lenhart, Prince Will are three guys that are not going to redshirt. I think they've all passed the 4-game mark anyway, so they're going to be sophomores next year for this football team. That's a large number of true freshmen playing for this team, which I think is also good on the recruiting trail. You can go out and tell people, hey, we're not just necessarily going to redshirt you. We're going to give you a chance to come in and play. A couple of other personnel notes. He did say they have moved Jeremiah Charles from offense to defense. Boy, he's a little tiny thing, though. He's only about 160 pounds. But they have moved him over to defense. And I think, didn't Coach Cooper kind of say when he was with us?
I was just about to bring that up.
I want that kid.
Yeah, that's one of the guys that they were fighting over, him and Garrett McGuire. And so I'm not surprised. I mean, I am a little bit, just being the thin numbers at wide receiver. But again, they see what they see. This is a staff that's been known to, and they've been in the NFL, and so they know where players, they got a good sense and a feel for where players fit best. Where is our best position? And so now that they've had half of a season to see some of these guys, they probably have a better feel for where some of them might be best suited for a football team.
Also, Bryce Turner is now at the defensive backs.
That's kind of surprised me a little bit.
Me too. So, but you think about that freshman wide receiver class, you did have Malachi, you had Jaden, and you had Jalen.
Yeah.
So those are they must have now evaluated Those three are better on this side. We need to get some more depth over on the DB side. So
I'm still can't wait to see what Bryce does out on the track this year. I think he's going to be. I mean, if all goes well, I think he's probably going to be a pretty big impact this year for that Nebraska track and field team.
We are inside of our Acres Radio Network Broadcast Center. Acres is the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. All right, 413-2400. That's the number to be a part of the program. We're back with more of the show coming up.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town, choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,250 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agent Kelly Schilke in Imperial, Jeb Brandt in Hastings, or Jordan Johnson in Lincoln today.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Everyone knows there isn't a fan base in the country that travels like Nebraska football fans. AAA Nebraska wants to help continue that tradition with a Huskers away game getaway giveaway. They're sending one fan on the ultimate away game experience for the Nebraska-Michigan State game on November the 4th. The prize package includes 2 tickets to the game and a $2,500 AAA travel gift certificate to cover flights, hotel, and travel accommodations. Enter now for a chance to win at huskers.com/AAA football getaway. Contest ends October 18th. Expect something more with AAA.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For 47 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been family owned and operated. We'll treat you like family and focus on providing you the best buying experience possible. Visit us in Fremont to shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer. And if you need a commercial vehicle, we're your GMC Business Elite dealer. Shop at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Everyone remembers Nebraska's national championships and Heisman Trophy winners. Most people also know Nebraska holds the record for the longest home sellout streak. But did you know Nebraska also leads the nation with 351 academic All-Americans? Or that Nebraska has more today's top 10 award recipients than any school in the country? Beardmore Subaru is proud to support and celebrate Husker athletics and Nebraska student athletes again this season. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the 3-row 2024 Subaru Ascent. It's the biggest SUV we've ever made. Love is now bigger than ever.
Feel like you're always on the run? Me too. As an independent financial professional, I help all kinds of busy people. Young families planning for college, couples working toward retirement, people securing their legacy. Wherever you are in life, Emeritus can help you get more out of life with insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. You're moving fast. Let's help make sure you're on the path to a fulfilling life. Find your next step at emeritus.com. Insurance products issued by Emeritus Life Insurance Corp.
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear. Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Huiberg here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty in town.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
AAA Nebraska giving away the ultimate away game experience. It's the Huskers Road Game Getaway. It's going to give you a couple of tickets to the Huskers game against Michigan State in East Lansing on November the 4th. The winner will also get a $2,500 AAA travel gift certificate. That's going to cover your flights, hotel, other travel accommodations. To get yourself entered, go to huskers.com/AAA football getaway. Expect something more with AAA. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night, 402-413-2400. No football coaches show tonight because of the off week. We'll be back with them next Tuesday. And I believe it's Donovan Raiola, offensive line coach, will be here next Tuesday night. We will have a volleyball show back on its normal night of Thursday. Can we say with certainty that JB is in Thursday night?
I think he's back, yeah.
He's back, okay. John in Omaha said, I feel so badly for Marcus. This young man put so much time and so much effort into this, and then to have it end on one play, I feel horrible for him. Marcus, if you're listening, hang in there, go Big Red.
I saw him today. Next time I see him, I'll let, who is it again? John in Omaha. I'll let him know John in Omaha says hang in there if I see him again.
And Mike in Grand Island was wanting to know about the burning our timeouts in the fourth quarter. We had first down around the 12, used the last one, which we then fumbled on. I can't remember if we were up against the play clock and maybe trying to avoid a delay a game or we had the wrong personnel package. I don't remember that situation.
Yeah, I thought it was, I kind of remember you guys saying that maybe didn't like the way they were lined up.
Yeah.
Against, I thought maybe Illinois had called a timeout. No, I don't know. I don't
remember. I have to go back to the play-by-play.
You and I do not have memories to be.
I don't have my play-by-play sheet in front of me, but yeah, I think that's fair, Mike. I think that some of the game management, time management things, both at the end of the half and in Friday night's game, it didn't matter as much because we had a 13-point lead. Timeouts weren't as critical, but some weeks they certainly will be because you're going to need them late in the game. So I've kind of been more feeling goosey about the way we've kind of ended some first halves by, maybe not just getting to the halftime, running the ball instead of throwing an incompletion, stops the clock. We've done that a couple times, and I think even Friday night against Illinois, we needed to run it and make them call a timeout, but we threw an incomplete pass, and so we stopped it for them. So I'm more in that camp.
And I wonder too, and I don't know if coaches asked about it, if that was the play call or if it was something that Heinrich maybe didn't see or.
He told me, what did he tell me? He said that there was a wide open lane for Heinrich to just go run.
Right.
And he chose to try to throw it. He goes, he'll learn. It's one of those young quarterbacks not knowing that.
And that's what I keep going back to about the Emmett fumble, about some of the mistakes that Heinrich has made. He's a young quarterback, This is a guy who's starting for the first time, and he told me too after the Michigan game, I'll learn the most from that. And each week he's going to learn and see so much, and he's a guy that's going to dive into the film. He's going to do his due diligence to get better, to grow. I mean, if you watch that sideline, there's nobody that wants it more than Heinrich Hoiberg, and so he's going to do the work that he needs to. But it's a learning process. It's a growing process for a young quarterback. It's just what it is.
Folks, buckle up. Put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Stephen Bellevue is offering tips for Cole for his next joke. I think the one last Thursday was not up to Cole's standards.
It was kind of mixed reviews again. So
some 3s, some 4s, some 10s.
We'll see if he delivers another Halloween next week.
So Steve,
or this week.
Steve, I'll just let you know, Cole has seen your text, so he's jotting those down there and putting them through his committee to see if it passes muster.
He's got a committee. He
has a committee.
Greg's not kidding when he says he has a committee.
He does have a committee. One of the members is here tonight.
I feel like some of the members of the committee are stronger than others, though, on their advice that they pass along to you.
Yeah, it depends on if they value their position or they are intimidated by Cole. He was a very intimidating person. All right, 402-413-2400. That's the number to call or text. We're back with more of the show, the last segment of Hour 1 next.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Visit a participating AGCO dealer between September 11th and November 3rd and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 24th in Lincoln, plus pregame tailgate. See True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter. And you may win this season.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's being well supported by a provider who understands your health interests and goals. It's ensuring you are well connected to a team of caregivers and specialists. It's feeling well cared for by having someone you can turn to who sees you for you. That's the power of being well matched. And that's exactly what CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match does. Meet the provider who is right for you at myprovidermatch.com.
As a fan, you wear your jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. There's a place for people like you. The Cox Fan Zone. Play NFL Pick'em and Collegiate Pick'em for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card each week, or even a $500 Visa gift card grand prize.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe. Say Fan Zone in your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Big Red. Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They're the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Final few minutes of hour number 1. Doug in Norfolk, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Heinrich was known more for his passing when he was in high school. He's got such a big arm. I'm sure he did throw for a lot of yards, but he also can really run. I mean, he's 6'5", and he's one of the faster guys on his team. So, I mean, he did it all, Doug, in high school. But, yeah, he threw the football quite a bit when he was playing out in Kearney.
He's just one of those freak athletes. I mean, he won the dunk contest for the team back in February. He's a great basketball player. He could do whatever he wants. I mean, that's why people were, which I don't know where that came from, who started that rumor, but why people were talking about him playing tight end. But then he catches a pass in the first game. But yeah, so I think he's one of those guys that can just do a little bit of everything.
And it was confirmed on the volleyball postgame show the other night that he's dating Harper Murray.
Yes.
John Cook announced that.
So he let that out. Well, here's the thing. So Somehow, again, I know you're not on TikTok, but if you have, they kind of know your algorithm. It figures out what you pay attention to, and then it keeps sending you that. So during volleyball day in Nebraska, I was watching a lot of videos from TikTok on that. And so then now I'm getting the volleyball players' TikToks. And one of them was Allie Batenhorst explaining how they set up Heinrich and Harper.
Oh, wow.
Because they're all friends. They came in together. Allie and that group all came in together with Heinrich. And they were all really good friends. And so that's how they set them up.
Oh. There are a lot of athletes that date each other.
Yeah.
There are. I mean, and because they eat together at the training table. They're just around. They're walking through here, which here, folks, if you can't see my hand, is the stadium. They walk around. So they just spend a lot of time around each other. So that's not really unusual. But yeah, John Cook, he let that cat out of the bag the other night.
Well, Allie Batenhorst did on TikTok too.
Okay.
So it's out there. It was going to be out there whether Coach Cook did or not.
So that was the big news. Coming up next hour, Fred Hoiberg and Josiah Alec, C.J. Wilcher, and Rink Mast. We're all in Minneapolis today for Men's Media Day. We'll play you some of Coach Hoiberg's comments to the media up there coming up in hour number 2. Also, Ron Revelle will stop by. The Huskers softball team will wrap up their fall ball with a series of games this weekend. We'll get an update from the coach about their season. We told you in the ticker, baseball will wrap up their fall ball tomorrow. Game 3 of the Red-White Series. Free, open to the public, 2:30 out at Haymarket Park. I was out there today for a couple of innings of their series. We'll try to get Coach Bolt on sometime next week. So busy time. You have those ball bat sports that get a few weeks to do some things in the fall. Then they shut it down. We're just about 3 weeks away from the start of the basketball season. And boy, November, we've always called it the crossover month. We're not going to have many sports nightlies in November because
we were
of
looking
games.
at that. Yeah, there's a lot of midweek games for basketball and volleyball. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So and it's some huge volleyball matches coming up. Penn State's going to be here this weekend. They're undefeated in conference play. And then, boy, should be number 1 versus number 2 a week from Saturday at the Devaney Center is Wisconsin, slated to come to town to face the Cornhuskers. Our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Fast first hour. We'll come back. Here's some comments from Fred Hoiberg in hour number 2. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Something big is happening. Introducing Hy-Vee Perks. Now, Hy-Vee Fuel Saver is Hy-Vee Perks. Get the same great benefits like fuel savings. Plus, save even more on hundreds of products store-wide with Hy-Vee Perks prices like Tide. H Perks price, $9.97. And bananas. H Perks price, 39 cents a pound. Make the switch or sign up for Hy-Vee Perks and start saving today. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Drive with purpose and arrive in style when you purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Chevy. With advanced capabilities and safety features, the Chevy lineup puts you in a position to upgrade your ride and keep moving with confidence. Choose from a variety of models equipped with a spacious, detail-focused interior and distinctively modern exterior. Purchasing your next vehicle at Woodhouse Chevy is an easy choice. Shop our current offers and inventory today and find new roads in-store or online with Woodhouse Chevy.
Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Head coach Matt Rhule held his only press conference of the week today. Among other topics, Coach Rhule discussed wide receiver Marcus Washington's season-ending injury during the game against Illinois on Friday.
Yeah, Marcus tore his ACL. Yeah, it was unfortunate, tore his ACL. We'll have surgery once the swelling goes down.
Coach Rhule's full press conference from today can be found on the official Huskers YouTube channel. Nebraska women's golfer Kelly Ann Strand shot at 2 under at the Dale McNamara Invitational on Tuesday, landing a second-place finish. The sophomore was in a pool of 86 players at the Oklahoma tournament, and the Huskers will head over to North Carolina for the Landfall Tradition tournament in 2.5 weeks. Nebraska baseball finished their scrimmage today with the red team winning the second game of the 3-game series 4-2 over the white team. Sophomore Jackson Brockett pitched for 4 2/3 innings for the red team, leading them to victory. Finally, let's look at MLB scores for tonight's playoff games. The Houston Astros and Minnesota Twins faced off in their third game of their series. They were tied at 1 game each. The Astros pulled ahead of the Twins 9-1 and now lead the series 2-1. The Texas Rangers currently have 2-0 against the Baltimore Orioles in their series. They will play later tonight for Game 3. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Huskers student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here's the snap back to Reggie Love. He gets hit at the goal line, and a ball might have popped out. I don't think he made it in there. Nebraska's black shirts have put together a goal line stand and will take over at the 1-yard line.
Husker volleyball sent to the left. Krause again. Unreal. Another thump from Lindsey Krause.
Here's the snap back. Zone read. Fake the handoff. Hoiberg's got it. 20, 15, 10, 5, dives, touchdown, Nebraska.
Controlled by the Huskers. Again, Lindsey left pin for the match. She got it. 25-14, Huskers set the way. Sweep number 9 this year for Nebraska. And your Huskers are 15-0 and a perfect 6-0 in the Big Ten.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Apparently I'm late to the party. Jeremy in Hastings says Harper posted Heinrich on her Instagram after the Michigan football game. Greg, you're late to this news.
Yeah.
There you go. Somebody else sent the TikTok video in.
I mean, Greg.
The Allie Batenhorst TikTok video.
Listen, Greg, by the end of the year, I'm going to have you on TikTok and you're going to have a pedicure.
Nope. In fact, who was it? It was 4 hours from Lincoln in the chat room says, nope, my wife's been trying to get me a mani or a pedi. I'm a guy. I'm not supposed to look good.
I mean, look, you sit in the massage chairs. They massage your feet. Sometimes if those feet can get gross. You get an upkeep, All
right, so this is what, Allie Batenhorst making this announcement? I'm kind of watching this as we go here.
Oh, yeah. They're doing their game day hair.
Okay.
And giving an update on it.
Okay.
On what happened.
Okay.
How it happened.
All right. So there you go, people. Now you're all up to date on all that latest.
I mean, call us like TMZ.
TMZ, Sports Nightly TMZ version.
We don't just talk X's and O's here. We talk all the latest romances, apparently.
Whew. Okay. Okay. I feel like I'm doing The Bachelor tonight. All right, Fred Hoiberg, he would like some of this stuff, I think. He was up in Minneapolis today to talk with all the writers and media people who cover Big Ten basketball about his team. And he was asked, how do you blend some of the parts that you had back from last year with all the new faces that you brought in during the offseason?
Yeah, it's a very mature group, Amy, and it's a team that, I think last year's group really set the culture that we needed and really flipped it with Griesel, with Bandamel, with Derek Walker, all being older players. And we've got a very mature group of guys. And, I can't tell you exactly who the one leader of this team is, but it's a team that certainly is led by committee, has been a committee-led team. And as far as blending them together, I mean, it's what our sport is right now, is with the portal, with bringing in as many new faces as we do. But again, when you look at the amount of games that our players have played and started, we've got a lot of guys that have started at a high level, and you bring those guys together with the players that they're integrated with, because you have a culture set. Those guys have come in and really kind of taking it to the next level. I think this is, again, a mature group that I've ever had, certainly at Nebraska, even going back to my days at Iowa State. So, it's a team that I think will battle through adversity, similar to last year's team. When you have two starters in the middle of the year that go out, you have to have a good culture in order to fight through that adversity. And I think this team is built the same way.
You were just shocked to hear that.
Wow.
That it's the most
oldest team in the league.
But, you think about it, there's only one true freshman. The rest, and Revelle Lloyd didn't play last year, but he's a redshirt, so he's been on the scout team. Most of those guys that they have coming back, and then the transfers that they brought in have played a lot of basketball, and some of them at a very high level.
Right. All conference type players. Rink in the Valley at Bradley. You had Josiah was at Kansas City, and then
Bryce
New
Williams,
Mexico.
yeah.
Bryce Williams, Charlotte. Getting excited about this group. All right.
And I think, too, the thing about when you have experience, it's different when you come from a program, a different conference outside of the Power 5 in basketball than it is in football, right? I think
so.
Because there's more parity, I feel like, and there are some great teams outside of the Power 5 in football, but more consistently, I mean, look at the NCAA tournament, how many teams make runs that are not a part of those Power 5 conferences.
Well, we had Florida Atlantic was in the Final Four last year.
Yeah, so
for the men's side.
There just is more parity. You can get some teams that are pretty dang good that are outside of these leagues that have competed at a high level, and teams have gone to the postseason. I mean, Bryce Williams was the NIT MVP.
Yeah.
So it just, to me, it doesn't matter as much if they've played college basketball at the Division I level at a good program. Then that's a really good get.
Rink was second team All Valley at Bradley. Bradley won 25 games a year ago.
Bradley's a name you hear in the postseason. How many times you fill out a bracket and you're trying to decide on Bradley?
Right.
It happens a lot. So that's a program that, again, is consistently in the postseason.
People are going to like his game.
Yeah.
Can shoot it, can rebound, can pass. He can do a lot of things for a big guy.
And all of these guys that brought in like to crash the boards.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit different kind of Husker team. All right, the coach got asked a question that he really liked. He was asked, how do you establish roles with all these guys that seem like they can play? Here's his answer.
That is going to be a challenge, but it's a good challenge, for us, and a good problem to have is when you have great depth. And, our big thing right now is figuring out the rotation. We had our first inter-squad scrimmage of fall camp last week, and we're going to have another one on Thursday. And, that's where you figure out who's going to be in your rotation. And early on, the rotation may not be the same as it is as you go throughout the year, how certain players respond to pressure situations on the court. But, I'm really mixing the teams pretty much on a daily basis to see who fits with each other. The one thing that I think you'll see with this team with the depth is we're going to have a lot of different combinations we can put on the floor. We can play smaller, more skilled lineups, but we can also play big and I think have a chance to be a team that can punish some people, especially on the glass, which we have not had that at my time in Nebraska. But if you throw a lineup out there with Bryce Williams, Jawan Gary, Josiah Alec, Rink Mass, you're going to have a huge group out there that all have a level of physicality to them. So that's the challenge right now, is figuring out, not only who starts, which I really could care less about, but more importantly, who's going to finish the game for us. And, again, I keep throwing the word mature out, but it is a mature group, and we talk a lot about role acceptance. And whatever role you have to shine and star in that role, and I'm confident our guys will do that.
Think about all the different looks and lineups that they're going to be able to throw at people. But, yeah, I mean, I just said that these guys, and I didn't even mention the ones that are already here that crashed the glass. I mean, Jawan and Blaze, and I mean, you've already got some good rebounders, and you got some guys they take a lot of pride in that. And then, not to mention, Bryce and Rink can shoot it.
Yeah.
And stretch the floor. And that is, to me, that is the great equalizer on any team, is when you've got a big guy that can shoot, because they are hard to match up with. That is a matchup nightmare for teams. And now you've got two of them that can shoot it at a high level from the outside. It's pretty good.
What intrigued me there was that Bryce, who's 6'7" or 6'8", he's kind of right in that, could play point guard. You could have a 6'7" or 6'8" guy bringing the ball up for Nebraska. And as he said, then you could put Rink and Josiah and Jawan out there, and you're just gigantic. So there's a lot of fun things that this coaching staff, I think, can do with this group of guys. All right, we're going to leave you with this. This was a really interesting question about how if you had to kind of say what your identity as a program is now, what is it as you put this team together?
Well, I talked a lot to our staff about the types of players that we want, the types of players that the Nebraska fan base can get behind. And I talked a lot early in the process last year of that team was going to be a very enjoyable team to watch. And had we stayed healthy, I honestly think we had a chance to be a tournament team last year. And, we had Derek Walker out for the first 5 and then had a really good stretch when we had our starters together after the injuries, went through a tough stretch and then finished the year out really strong. But it was a team, I think, every time we stepped on the floor, our fan base could rally behind because of how hard they played, diving after balls, taking charges, really had a defensive identity early in the season with the group that went out there and played with a great toughness to them. So when you talk to your staff about identifying those types of players, I think, I give our staff a lot of credit for going out there and finding the right guys that are going to continue on with making this fan base very proud. So, now it's about taking the next step. I know it's an important year. It's getting into the postseason and having a chance to compete, for championships. That's what this thing's all about. And, this group, I think, is a team that whatever happens on the floor, they're going to continue to fight and continue to battle, and that's all you can ask of your team. So I'm excited about this group. I'm excited about this year, and again, it's a team that I think our fans will really enjoy watching.
He likes this group, obviously, and we've heard that from the start. We heard him say that last year, but he's ready to win and win a lot and get to the postseason. You could just tell. I mean, there's the fire. He's so competitive and don't let the nice demeanor sometimes fool you. This is a guy that really wants to win really bad, and I think he started to really figure some things out. And like we've said multiple times about the staff that he's brought in, he's got a great staff, and maybe feeling out what it takes to win at this level and at the Big Ten, and after leaving to go into the NBA and then coming back, some things had changed. And so I think he's starting to figure it out, and I think he really feels like he's got a good group that he's brought together this year.
It's year 5, but in some ways it feels like year 3.
Yeah.
Because 2 years ago is when he brought in Nate Lenzer, and Adam Howard's been here now. This is his second year, Ernie's second year. I feel like they now kind of know what works at Nebraska. And I'm ready for this. I think it's going to be kind of fun.
I am really ready. And I think they've set themselves up with the schedule that is good and positive and allows them to build some confidence, rack up hopefully some wins. You got a couple good tests there, but I'm really excited. I'm excited about both these basketball teams.
We're going to see
be a fun year.
The dynamic duo tomorrow. Here,
Ooh.
Kent and Jake are coming in for the little preseason meeting.
They better bring candy. Our candy jars are empty.
Kent likes candy.
He always has candy.
Yes, he does.
You told me at one point when I was doing the TV, when I was sitting next to him, just don't take his popcorn.
Oh, no. He
offers me his candy all the time.
Because the popcorn is what entertains him as he drives back to Omaha after games.
Oh, so don't touch the popcorn.
He eats the popcorn on the way home.
But the candy, he is more than willing to share.
Yeah, he'll share that. Might even give Jake a piece every now and then. Woodhouse Auto Family, they're your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back to talk some softball. Head coach Rhonda Revelle will be here next.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town, choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,250 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Winning a new truck playing Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery changes a person. I used to drive around hills. Now I drive over them. I used to hate helping friends move. Now I can do it in one trip. I used to own my own tech company. Now I'm on the professional rodeo circuit. Actually, I'm going back to tech. Bulls are really mean, and I just don't look good in chaps.
Play Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds, 1 in 336,000.
Go Ford for your next truck or SUV and find an easier way to buy with Woodhouse Ford today. Lease a 2023 Ford F-150 Super Crew STX 4x4 for $419 per month for 36 months and 7,500 miles per year. $3,000 down or trade equity, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. And experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford today. Security deposit waived. Tax, title, license extra with approved credit. Expires 10/31/2023.
In 1923, Bert R. Benjamin had a vision, an all-purpose tractor that could do more. With that, the Farmall was born. This year, Case IH is celebrating 100 years of Farmall, 100 years of milestones, 100 years of innovation, passion, grit. And they're doing it through your stories. Share them at farmall100.com. One lucky storyteller will win their own Farmall, the tractor that is the one for all.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's no community like a Cenex community. And that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 3, 7, or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 3, 7, or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
Do you need to relocate to a different city or state but don't know where to start? If so, put the power of BHA Real Estate to work for you. BHA will set you up with the best real estate agent in your new town. Have a house to sell first? No problem. They can assist you with that as well. With over 70 years of experience, BHA has a network to ensure one of the biggest transactions in life will be handled with care that you deserve and the service that you can trust. Give BHA Real Estate a call today for all your relocation needs. 308-324-5581.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody, and so excited. One of my favorite people in Lincoln is here in studio. Rhonda Revelle, fall softball in full swing. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me. It is in full swing, and we're having fun with it.
How's it going?
It's going well.
You have a lot of fun in the fall, right?
You do have a lot of fun in the fall, but we're really trying to work really hard. We've got a great leadership group, and we're really just trying to set our standards for as we head into the 8-hour segment next week, what our standards for our work is going to be, because that's where you do a lot of grinding it out on your own. And So it's a really fun group and a really good group to work with. So having a lot of fun.
You have some players out working through some injuries, but you've got a really deep team. How's the competition been throughout the fall?
Well, it's been fun. And so there's not only competition in practice, but we've had the inter squads and we've had some real good competition there. And, you know, every day it could be a different lineup that we're riding, which is nice too. In fact, in the Creighton game, we threw all 4 pitchers. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did. And several games this fall, you've thrown multiple arms.
Correct.
How good is that to have that kind of depth in the circle?
It's great. And remember, that's without Kaylin Kinney. She's not playing this fall. So you add her back in there, and we've really got some nice depth in the circle.
What's that luxury like? You didn't have that in the spring.
I know. Courtney's kind of looking at me like, thanks, Coach. You're just a year late. No, it's been fun. You know, she's still with our team. So it's been great because we have different looks. We have a lefty in the lineup now, and then we have people that throw like Jordy nearly 70 miles an hour and then offset it with something at 60. And so we just feel like we have a lot of options.
What are the things that you look to accomplish in the fall? Is it the same every year? Is it different depending upon the team each season?
Yes is the answer to both of those questions. You know, some of it's the same every year, just really trying to work hard on your fundamentals, really locking down your fundamentals. But you also try to meet your team where they are on the path. And so this year's team, you know, we return a lot of players. We also have 8 newcomers, so you're really trying to integrate them. But you're also trying to not only set the standards for the physical work, but for the mental, emotional work that needs to be done to reach your potential. And ultimately, that's our goal every year. You know, I don't know if you put a place on it or a trophy that you want to hoist, but you want to max out yourself every single year.
How has the blending been? Because you had such a good core group coming back and the culture that was in place and then adding so many new pieces. How has that blending been? I got to imagine the fall is a really critical part of that.
You know, it is a really critical part, but they did so much work in the summer with our strength coach. And for instance, both Jordy and Bella Bacon, so 2 of our 3 transfers were here by midsummer working out with the team. All of our returning players were back after the 4th of July.
Wow.
They just took that upon themselves. So the core group, like 18 or 20 people, were all working together by mid-July. And I think a lot of that culture work was done in-house by the time we started practice. So we've just kept building on it.
You know, when you talk about your pitching and building that depth there and you get some games in, but also how good is it for them just to go up against your lineup day in and day out? Because you have one of the best offenses in the country. I know Billy's out, but the bats that they have to face every day, how much does that push a pitching staff?
Well, I think they push each other. The pitchers push the hitters, and the hitters push the pitchers. So I love the competition. There's nothing that raises the level of play than the competition. So even the days that we don't have a scrimmage, there at least once a week where we're trying to get hitters against pitchers in at least some capacity with some pressure, something on the line for it.
Saw the other day what Jordy Ball went 3 for 3, so she's getting to hit. I know that was something that she's really looking to do. How have you seen that with her getting to be consistently, I guess, at the plate?
You know, before I even talk about that, I think what's really fun for me as a coach is to watch this athlete. I mean, she's like a thoroughbred, right? And it's like the pasture has opened up. She's just running in it. And and maybe that's not a good analogy, and I didn't think through that real well, but I just see her playing hard. Like we've played her a game at first base, played her a game in the outfield. We've practiced her at both. And then on top of that, she's hitting and pitching. So, and on the bases, I mean, there's 5 areas that I just spoke of that she's just out doing her thing. And she only has 1 gear and it's full speed. And so to see her play and really be able to offer her talent and showcase her talent in so many arenas, it's been fun. And it looks like she's having a lot of fun with it.
That competitor, how much does that, and I know you have a lot of competitors, your team's full of it, but her just a strong desire to compete, how much does that rub off on a team?
I think a lot. I mean, she's using her voice and she's so respectful and she's such a great teammate and team player, but she's speaking up. And when Jordy has something to say, it's really worth listening to. And it could be something really subtle, but it's very impactful. And, you know, it could be something as simple as the other day she told one of our players that her play and the way she was going hard inspired her. And I can only imagine that just made that player's week.
I love that. Well, she's not the only pitcher that's hitting. Your freshman, Emerson Cope, is what, starting for you, and then also went 2 for 4 the other day with 2 RBIs. How about her and what she's been able to do so far?
Yeah, Emerson's got special power. You know, there's just some things you can't teach a player, and her exit velo on her bat, I mean, it's really special. Now, she's going to have to adjust to college pitching and scouting reports and all that kind of stuff, and she's working with that. But look for her to be a power presence in our lineup.
You know, with Courtney and then even with Olivia Farrell when she was healthy, you are not afraid to let your pitchers hit. Where does that philosophy come from? Because it's not always something that you see across the country, but why are you not afraid to let your pitchers take the bat and step in the plate?
Well, I think that when they're gifted with athleticism and they have a strong desire to be a two-way player, and you go back to Tatum Edwards, she played in left field when she wasn't pitching. Mm-hmm. And she also hit leadoff for us one year. So I think when they can give the team different gifts in different ways, some people would think it's foolish that we try to do that, and sometimes I think I would be foolish not to utilize their talent. So now, with that said, when Jordy's up to bat, when our pitchers are up to bat, they have different hand gear on than our regular hitters. They have the elbow guards. When they're on the bases, they protect their hands. So we're trying to take all precautions, but I certainly don't want to take a really special part of their game away from them.
Sometimes probably, too, they're better when they're doing both, right? I feel like some of those athletes, it's what they want and desire, and they're better athletes when they can be as involved as possible.
I think that's a very astute observation from you. And for some, think about pitching. It's so high intensity, pitch to pitch to pitch. And if they can get out and run around the bases, it's a way to almost like blow off some steam and get them back to even. And I think it can actually be productive for them.
Well, you mentioned the lefty, Caitlin Olinsky. How nice is it to have a lefty back in the lineup?
Right? I know. Caitlin is, she's crafty. She's a smart pitcher. She thinks of herself as a pitcher, and she really spins it. And she's working very hard to add her off-speed pitch in her repertoire. And I keep telling her, I said, do you know who Danielle Williams is? Of course, Danielle Williams, who just came out of Northwestern. She reminds me a lot of her.
Wow. Well, there's lots of hitters to talk about, but overall, how do you feel like your offense has been able to progress throughout the fall?
Well, other than one game, I feel like we've done pretty well. So, and we had that one game against South Dakota State where we got shut out. It's a very good South Dakota State team, and it was a game where Jordy had a great pitching effort. And I think, in my opinion, in the fall, this was a great we're going to look back at the South Dakota State. This is my plan. That we're going to look back at the South Dakota State and said it exactly happened the way it needed to happen because of how it galvanized us on the other side of it. So, we've got to take a great pitching effort like that and then put a great offensive effort in, and you'll have a lot of special moments.
No Billy Andrews, so no starting shortstop for you this fall, but it's probably been good to have some opportunities for some players to step into that role there at shortstop.
Absolutely. Sammy Bland's a freshman for us. She'll compete for a starting spot in the outfield in the spring, but we knew we were going to have to bring her in the infield this fall. And I'll tell you, in the last weekend, it looks like she's really getting her legs under her, like the speed of the game is slowing down, and she's doing some good things. So we'll look back at that, too, and think that we can't pay for that kind of experience in the fall.
I know defense is very near and dear to your heart, too. How much of the fundamentals of defense do you really spend time working on here in the fall, too?
Well, right before I came to do this interview, I just hit Billy Andrews, speaking of Billy, 112 ground balls.
Wow.
So it's really important, and 112 different kind of ground balls. So, I think we've got to lock it down defensively. For instance, when we have pitchers like we do, I feel like we have a really good pitching staff, and they give us a chance to win. We got to take care of the ball. If they do their part, we got to take care of the ball behind them.
112 pitches are
grounders.
112 grounders.
Yeah.
You gonna need an ice bath, or you sore after that? Or are you in
Jessica,
tip-top shape?
You know what? Well, I don't know if I'm in tip-top shape. Coaches get sore too, but it's all worth it.
112, that's a lot. Yeah. Well, big weekend coming up this weekend, the Big Red Fall Classic. You got a doubleheader on Saturday and Sunday, free admission for fans if they want to come watch some fall softball. What are you looking for out of this weekend?
Well, I'm actually looking for us to continue to grow each game, and I feel like that's what we've been doing all fall, and really growing as competitors and growing as a team. But before I even go there, we have some special events, and I know you know that, but I'm so excited to bring back our 2013 College World Series team, and we'll feature Tatum and Taylor Edwards throwing out the first pitch, and I think they're really excited about that. I texted them this morning, and they always went by the nickname TNT, and a little dynamite, right? And so that'll be fun to welcome them back, along with many other alumni. And then on Sunday, we have Cancer Awareness Day, and so that's going to be near and dear to our heart as well. And I know I might have just stole your thunder there, but all of those things are just really important too. Just trying to keep perspective on all the things that are meaningful, not just the competition on the field.
Bringing back that 2013 team to honor them, how important is that for a young team to see, hey, this is a team that played on the stage that you're all working to get to, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we hope that we'll have some of those players speak to our team and give some messages of just what it took to get there and what they see in this group. And that's always really powerful when you can bring back alumni to do that.
So Saturday is the celebration of the 2013 team, TNT throwing out the first pitch, and then Sunday is Cancer Awareness Game. You're going to see a bunch of different ribbons, right, that the team are all going to wear. So making it really special and tailored to, because everybody's affected by cancer, right? So allowing them to kind of express certain cancers that have hit close home to them, right?
Right, absolutely, yes.
And how important is that for your program to be able to do that and showcase that, and especially in Breast Cancer Awareness Month? And I know it's hit home to your program too.
Yes, it is very important, and we have one of our freshmen, Emerson Cope, her stepmother in the last 6 months has passed away from breast cancer. So, she even said, Coach, this is a hard month for our family, and and we were doing this day anyway, but I know that day might be a little bit more challenging for her because it's so close. And so, there's just, you're right, everybody's impacted by cancer, and just to take a moment and pause and recognize that we're all in this together, even when people are on a different journey.
And how special would it be for you guys to have a packed Bowlin Stadium out there this weekend?
It's always special when Bowlin Stadium is packed. I mean, it's been a great energy. I go back to last Sunday against Creighton. It was a great crowd. One of my favorite moments of the Creighton game was the Creighton shortstop made a tremendous diving catch. Everybody clapped. I'm like, yes, I love that spirit. Like the spirit of competition is live and well, but we also appreciate, and that's what I love about Nebraska fans, we also appreciate great effort. And then when we played Omaha, both teams were in postseason last year, and it felt like, this didn't feel like October, it felt like May.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And, one of the things that fans will see after fall ball is maybe some construction happening out there, because there's a lot of demand to see your softball team in the spring, and the athletics department is kind of going to try to accommodate some of those folks.
The word on the street, Jessica, is you're going to hear some digging and clanking and all kinds of things at Bowlin Stadium, so they can get Husker fans ready for the fall of 2024.
Got to be so excited just about everything. I know you probably try to take it day by day, but it's got to be pretty exciting with everything that's kind of going on. You told me this summer it's palpable. You can feel it, and certainly with your program you can feel it too. So it's got to be a pretty fun time for you.
It is, and we try to keep that in perspective too. Like, we take moments and just feel that, and then we get back in our little bubble and just try to get better every day.
All right, Rhonda, Revelle, appreciate your time. Can't wait to see you guys out there this weekend. Again, Saturday, Sunday, the Beg Red Fall Classic, 10:30, 12:30, both Saturday and Sunday. Lots of fun things going on. Free admission, so get out there and support this Nebraska softball team. Got to step aside for a break here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rhule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops,
and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we are born to raise at Hoiberg. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student-athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student-athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear. Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hubbard here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on New York equipment. The best warranty in town.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Feel like you're always on the run? Me too. As an independent financial professional, I help all kinds of busy people. Young families planning for college, couples working toward retirement, people securing their legacy. Wherever you are in life, Emeritus can help you get more out of life with insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. You're moving fast. Let's help make sure you're on the path to a fulfilling life. Find your next step at emeritus.com. Insurance products issued by Emeritus Life Insurance Corp.
Everyone remembers Nebraska's national championships and Heisman Trophy winners. Most people also know Nebraska holds the record for the longest home sellout streak. But did you know Nebraska also leads the nation with 351 academic All-Americans? Or that Nebraska has more today's top 10 award recipients than any school in the country? Beardmore Subaru is proud to support and celebrate Husker athletics and Nebraska student athletes again this season. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the 3-row 2024 Subaru Ascent. It's the biggest SUV we've ever made. Love is now bigger than ever.
AAA Nebraska giving away the ultimate away game experience. The Huskers road game getaway includes a couple of tickets to the Huskers matchup with Michigan State on November the 4th in East Lansing, Michigan. The winner's going to also get a $2,500 AAA travel gift certificate. That should cover your flights, your hotel, other travel accommodations. To enter, go to Huskers.com/AAA AAA Football Getaway, Huskers.com/AAA Football Getaway. Expect something more with AAA. That'd be a cool little deal. East Lansing's a fun little town, good college town. Also, Lansing, which is the connecting city, is the state capital of Michigan. So they've got a little bit in common with Lincoln. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program with a text. The Husker soccer team will be back on the pitch, the home pitch, Thursday night at Hibner against Maryland. They only have 2 more home matches left as they're rapidly ending their regular season. Their playoffs, their Big Ten tournament start the first week of November. So here we are, October the 10th. Eleanor Dale named again Big Ten Player of the Year. She's got a Player of the Week. She has a chance to be Player of the Year, I think, in the league.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, who's even close to her in the Big Ten to her goals scored?
I don't.
And especially, too, a lot of it depends on how your team does. Your team success is a big part of it. But Nebraska still has a chance to. I had a chance to talk to Florence Belzil today, and she mentioned this, and this is one of the messages with the team. I mean, they're taking it one game at a time because it's critically important to do so because they have a chance. It's so bunched up with the standings that there's a chance they can finish pretty high in the standings. There's a chance they can finish low if they don't take care of business. So It's just every game is so important from here on out. And I say that to say that if this team keeps winning and they finish towards the top of the standings, I don't think there's any way you cannot give it to Eleanor Dale.
She has, I got the answer for you, 19 goals. The next closest is Paige Weber from Indiana with 11.
Wow. Oh,
she has an 8-goal lead. And Florence, who we're going to hear from tomorrow night on the program, she's third in the league in assists.
Yeah.
So
and she's like 6th in the nation in assists or something. Like she's up there. The team's up there in assists. They're up there in goals. They're top 10 in a lot of those offensive statistics.
How about this? Shots on goal. Eleanor's 1. Sarah Weber's 2 in the league.
Yeah.
So we have 1 and 2 on shots on goal.
I thought this was fascinating, too. Flo, as they call her, she was telling me, too, that, one of the things that it has allowed Eleanor to continue to be so good is that they do have a player like Sarah Weber.
Right.
Kind
of 2.
So you can't, and Sarah Weber's proven what she can do, and so you can't key in on any. They've got multiple goal scorers and so it's allowed the pressure to stay off of Eleanor because, hey, if you're going to try to take her away, we got 2 other goal scorers that have a really good shot of finding the net. So I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Here's another interesting category, points. So for individuals, if you score a goal, it's 2 points. An assist is worth 1. Eleanor has 41 points. The next closest one in the league has 26. So that gap's even bigger. So she's clearly going to be the Player of the Year in the league.
How do you not give it to her at that point?
She's got to be a first-team All-American, I would think, right? I don't know how you not put the nation's leading scorer.
That's how it is in basketball every year. To me, I don't know how soccer works, but every year, doesn't the nation leading scorer, they're an All-American.
Yep.
They are never, they're in, the nation's leading scorer for basketball, no matter what team they play for, is in the conversation for Player of the Year. So I would think she's a shoo-in for All-American. When's the last All-American Nebraska had?
It would be the Johnson girl from 10 years ago because they're honoring that team, which Jeremiah's wife was a goaltender on that team in 2013. But she was a first-team All-American. In the team standings, Penn State's first with 16 points. Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan State all have 13. Nebraska has 11. So to your point, they got to get some wins. The 2 ties are kind of holding them back a little bit. And both ties they probably should have won.
Yeah. But, there's still some opportunity. You got 4 games left. And I think they play one of the teams that are ahead of them, right?
Well, they play Wisconsin still.
Yeah. So
Maryland's bad. 0-5-1 in the league. So that's who they play Thursday.
You got to win that one. Got to get a win there. And then I think they have 1 more at home, 1 more on the road, right?
Yep.
So, it's wild. I feel like we just started the season, and they're winding things down. They got 4 left.
So they play Maryland Thursday night here at Hibner, 7 o'clock. Then they go to Minnesota Sunday at 1. That's going to be on BTN, so you can watch that. Then they wrap it up. Oh, no, they have 4 regular season games left. They come home next Thursday. So the next 2 Thursdays, they're at home. Purdue's here on the 19th, and then they finish at Illinois on the 22nd. Illinois is a team also that is ahead of them in the standings. So they're fun to watch. It's a great entertainment. The matches take about 2 hours on the nose, and so it's, you can kind of get in and out. Hibner's a beautiful facility to go watch soccer, and Eleanor Dale is putting together a season for the ages for Husker soccer.
What is before we step away from this, what's the program record for goals in a season?
Shoot, I'm going to have to dig into that.
For the commercial break, let's find that, because she's got to be getting close to that, right?
I think so. She may already have it, for that matter, but we'll do some deep dive in the soccer archives to see if we can find something on that. All right, I need to step aside, get our final break in. Still time if you want to fire off a text to us, 402-413-2400. If problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Both Farmers and Division I athletes are alike in that every year, every season presents a new opportunity. That is nothing new. Aurora Cooperative does what they always do, embrace new opportunities. They focus on their roots and continue to stand strong with their farmer owners. These core beliefs are much like those of committed Husker athletes. Aurora Cooperatives relies on their value of a strong work ethic to get any job done for their producers. When you choose Aurora Cooperative, you're choosing a winning team that's dedicated to the success of our local farmers. Go Big Red and go Aurora Cooperative.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
Winning a new truck playing trucks and bucks from the Nebraska Lottery changes a person. I used to drive around hills. Now I drive over them. I used to hate helping friends move. Now I can do it in one trip. I used to own my own tech company. Now I'm on the professional rodeo circuit. Actually, I'm going back to tech. Bulls are really mean, and I just don't look good in chaps.
Play trucks and bucks from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds, 1 in 336,000.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. We told you at the top of this hour that it was Big Ten Basketball Media Day up in Minneapolis. Tom Izzo, you a fan of Tom Izzo? Or?
Yeah.
I am too. I know some people think he's too hard on players, but the players who played for him, even guys like Draymond Green, loved it. They said, he loves you, and we know he loves you, and that's why he's yelling at you.
Well, I asked Fred Hoiberg that question on a show last year. I said, you have two sons, obviously, but which, and one of them played for Tom Izzo, but I said, which coach? It's like the ultimate compliment. Like, who would you want your son to play for? And Tom Izzo was one of those guys. Yeah. He said there's a few, but Tom Izzo's at the top of the list.
He got after the transfer portal today. He's just like, it's just because kids are transferring because they're unhappy with their position. He goes, yes, coaches can go take another job, but he goes, a lot of times you're not unhappy. It's just a better opportunity for you. But he says a lot of these guys are leaving because they don't like something at their current school. And he goes, I'm not totally against that, but he pulled out the data that 19% of Division I men's players who got in the portal last year didn't get a scholarship. They leave a scholarship, and then they didn't get one on the back end of that. Well, you've hurt yourself by doing it. That's 1 in 5.
Wow. Well, and we are on the end of the COVID year too, which hopefully some of those players being left without scholarships, hopefully it will start to even out some of that. And that's, I feel like there's kind of an influx of players still with scholarships, but I think we're dwindling down towards the back end of that, thank goodness. But yeah, I mean, they made the changes to the windows this year recently, which is good.
Really shortened up.
Yeah, needed, and they just shortened up basketball too, which needed to happen. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to address it. I think a lot of people feel there's a problem, and at least there's the one-time transfer rule now.
And I hope they stick with that.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, but then you can still transfer. You just have to sit out. And then also you can after you graduate, you can transfer. That's
Correct.
a free. So you still have 2 free transfers.
Yeah. He said, this is Izzo continuing on today, he said, let's see what the graduation rate, how that goes after a few years of this one-time transfer portal thing. He says, let's look at some of the unintended consequences. He said, don't blame the kids, blame the adults, blame us. He said, we're the ones at fault in this whole thing, not the players. So, again, I'm not disagreeing with him at all. I think he's kind of right. Most guys leave because they think that they're not getting a fair shake at their current school, but you're not guaranteed a landing spot. So you may be out of scholarship, and a lot of these kids don't have the financial backing to pay for their own college.
I do like the option of the transfer portal. And here's another thing, too. It's not even just about not sticking it through and having an opportunity. It's also... there's a lot of pressure that goes into recruiting. And sometimes, I mean, I couldn't imagine making a lifelong decision at age 16, 17 years old. Sometimes these kids commit super early.
Yep.
And then it's not a fit when they get there. And some of these places are not real when you go there. And it's not what you were sold, right, when you were going through the recruiting process. So I am a fan of being able to transfer one time because of all of that, because it's hard to make that kind of decision. You never know if your coach leaves, some kind of circumstances that you need to be elsewhere. There should be that option, but to be able to do it multiple times, that's where I think they needed to pull back the reins on, and they have now. And then once you go through your 4 years or you've 3 years and you have an opportunity, you take care of business in the classroom, you get your graduate degree, you get your whatever degree it is, then you can be a graduate transfer. I think what they have now is great, and hopefully will pull back some of the issues that are in place right now.
Agreed. And I think that North Carolina had a couple football players who were trying to transfer for a second time, and the NCAA denied it, and Mac Brown went crazy. And hey, even here, to be fair, Eric Gilbert was the guy Nebraska was trying to get before his issues off the field have prevented any kind of playing time for him here, or even part of the team. But this was a second transfer for him. He'd been at Georgia, then LSU, and now trying to come here. And I know a lot of people here wanted him to be immediately eligible. That made me feel a little uncomfortable on that whole thing. Hey, folks, Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. The big dog going to make an appearance, I think, tomorrow night on the program, right?
He is. We did midseason MVPs. You will never guess who he picked. Well, one of them he will. The other one he won't.
David, appreciate your help tonight. Thanks to all of you for listening. We'll join you again tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. 26 Husker students presented research findings on nuclear deterrence to a panel of U.S. Strategic Command officials at STRATCOM headquarters in Bellevue. The student-led presentation was the culmination of a semester of STRATCOM-guided research and the latest in a year's